My name is Timothy Pringle Jr. I was born July 16, 1998, the son of Timothy and Carla Pringle. And the reason I state this is because I didn't know who I was or why I was here on earth. In my younger years of life, I was a problem child. But as I become older, I have become a better person now. I couldn't figure out my purpose in life or if I was going to find a meaning to my purpose of being here on this earth. But with the faith I have now in God, He is leading me in the right direction. A little later in my life, when I was in fourth grade, matters seemed only to get worse. I attended Pringle Charter School in Buffalo, New York. I never felt like a good positive vibe at that school. It felt like I was just there to take up space. I never really learned much there until I transferred out and went to Nichols School. But I was playing all that later. But back to what I was saying is like I never felt a real connection with some of my friends or even the teachers. Most of the time, it would seem like they didn't care about teaching us, or maybe we didn't care at all, so they wouldn't care at all. In my class, we would have the smart kids, the cool kids, the group that thought they knew it all, and you had the class bullies. One of my fondest memories of Pringle Charter School will be these group of kids that will always bother me and my friends. And being the way I was back then, I was going to take any of their mess, and they were trying to dish out. So I would fight fire with fire and wind up getting in trouble for fighting. And that wasn't me. I began to adapt to their ways and start behaving like them and not like a child of God. So I knew it was time for a change in my life to occur. I transferred to Nichols School in fifth grade because my parents wanted me to be more challenged and I needed to be in a new environment. My brother also attended Nichols from sixth to ninth grade, so that made me always wanted to go there. My time at Nichols gave me a wake up call to realize that there was more to life than what I was already accustomed to at my old school. Going to Nichols gave me a broad sense that education was the key to getting ahead in life. That was a message from God telling me that it was time for you to get back on track and change your attitude around. Nichols was very challenging, but the teachers made learning fun. The change that occurred wasn't instantaneously. It took some time for me to change, but at the end, it all paid off. My freshman year at Nichols, I truly believed that I was going to be here for the rest of my high school years. But as we all know, God has a destiny for all of us, and mine wasn't going to be at Nichols. The primary reason I decided to leave Nichols was to seek a new opportunity and follow my dreams. Nichols is a great academic school, hands down, but no matter how prestigious the school is, it really matters on how well you apply yourself to that school and what you are willing to learn from those teachers. Later on in that year, I began to learn how to accept myself as a person and began to learn what my limitations were and my talents were. As I grew emotionally and physically stronger, at that moment things would start to become clearer as God would have me leave Nichols in order to pursue something greater than just academics at Nichols. Once people found out what I was planning to do, I was facing a lot of scrutiny from my friends, who I've been with for so long, and the new relationships I made with the new people was sort of hard to imagine. Not going to club with them anymore. Yeah, you could say that people back then were calling me a traitor or saying that why would you go to an all boys school or other negative things just to change my mind, but I would just look at them and say to myself, if you only knew what God had in store for me. At Nichols, I still have very close friends there, and I'm very welcome at any time to come. In my final decision, my parents and me made come to the conclusion to me leave Nichols and head to Canisius. This was just the first step for me to begin to take my responsibility for my growth as a human being and how this will affect me emotionally and socially as I head to a Catholic school. The decision I made will determine my destiny. I was already familiar with Canisius. I was a water boy football team during my brother's senior year, so it made me more anxious to attend Canisius and be like him. My brother Ricky Pringle was a graduate from the class of 2010, so it was no brainer decision to attend Canisius because I seen firsthand how the school affected his life for the better. My sophomore year at Canisius and walking through those big blue doors, I felt like this is where I was supposed to be at. Such a school like this only made my parents and I second guess our decision numerous of times, or the fact if this was a school I would remain at for the next 3 years. At that point, I could only feel negative things from this and none of the positive things that could happen at Canisius. Canisius had embraced me with open arms and invited me into their family. Meeting new kids, new teachers, and trying to fit in was definitely hard for myself. I was trying to seek out new experiences. To get me out of my character and my comfort zone and put me in a whole new environment could be frightening for most kids, but luckily for football, I was able to build a new relationship with a group of guys that I was going to sweat and bleed for while on the field. So when it came down to me interacting with other kids in the school, it didn't seem so bad to get to know everyone. But I did have a hard time learning everyone's names. Many people are not capable of having to adapt from one environment and on to the next one. But I thank God He blessed me with a strong mind and having the ability to adapt to different environments that He decided to put me in. Football was always my first love since my father introduced me to it, even before I could walk. I started playing organized football when I was only 4 years old, and it taught me so much about life. My sophomore year was met with big expectations by my family because of my brother accomplished at the school, as he was all Catholic and always in football. I had a lot of pressure to follow in his footsteps and become a starter my first year, just like he did. But as we all know in life, God has a plan for all of us. The turning point in my life was when I broke my fibula and dislocated my ankle during football practice. It's crazy how your world can turn upside down in the blink of an eye. One day it seems as if you are perfectly healthy going about your daily routine. The next day you are being rushed to the hospital where you are being told that you had to go into surgery. It was a cold October day at Field outside at Kenesha High School, and the football team and I were preparing for our upcoming opponent against St. Mary's of Lancaster. I was on the scout team versus the first team defense. Running through the line, I ran out to block on a play for the running back. In a blink of an eye, I was experiencing a crucial pain that I would not wish on anybody in the world. I started feeling increasing like a mobility on my right leg. As I was lying on the ground, all I could think about was if I was ever going to play football again. Even, and if that, if I'll be able to walk again. Overwhelmed with emotion and excruciating pain, the worst is yet to come. The day of my surgery, I was told that it will be 6 months until I'm back walking again, and 1 year until I'm back fully myself. The next 6 months was the hardest thing I had experienced in my life. Having to transfer from Nickel School to Kenesha High School a school year, I had to adjust to a new school slash community and a new football team. I now had to sit out for the rest of the season at my new school. I was angry, sad, and hurt. I thought my career was over, and I could not handle not being able to play football again. I really thought I couldn't get hurt. I had to learn to humble myself and depend on others to help me get through this difficult time in my life. My mom helped me with everything, taking me to doctor appointments and therapy. I appreciate my classmates and my teacher for helping me also. For the next 6 to 12 months, I had to figure out what to do other than play football. I began to focus more in the classroom and become more devoted in discovering my career path. As being new to the team, I knew I couldn't afford any time lost with my teammates, so I attended some practices to show my dedication and support. I was also able to attend our playoff games and championship game at the Row, where we went out to beat St. Joe's. At this time in my life, I was becoming more involved with God and starting to grow a better relationship with God in ways of going to church regularly with my mom, blessing my food, and thanking for letting me see another day, and for my family and for me being healthy. Returning back to football from my injury after 6 to 12 months made me mature, selfless, and patient, a team player and responsible for my actions. My parents and friends know a different person during my junior year because I learned to humble myself and accept help from others. The point of helping others and turning a hardship into an opportunity of growth. This defining moment in my life marked transition from childhood to adulthood. Since I was a child, I always carried myself as an overly confident person who took many things for granted. I consider myself as untouchable and invisible from encountering struggles and hardships. However, once I was told that I had to sit out for a year from a sport that I loved and worked so hard so I could walk. After that 1 year off, I was fortunate to be able to be part of my junior year football season team, which became the most memorable season in school history. That year, we won the first New York State Catholic High School Championship and were ranked number 30 in the country. Although I may have lost an opportunity my sophomore year, I gained so much more personally since the injury. I have grown mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and physically. I learned and so that the world does not revolve around me and to be more critical of my actions and words. I thank myself for knowing God and all the wonderful things He did for me and what He put me through in order to get me to where I am today. If I didn't know how to talk to God or have in my life, I wouldn't know where I would be or how I would end up if it wasn't for my mother getting me back in church and reestablishing my connection with God and helping me get closer to God. I don't know how I would have made this far in my life. I thank God for being in my life and loving me for who I am. Entering my senior year felt pretty good, even though we didn't win my senior minor championship title. I thank God for keeping me healthy this football season. I also enjoyed coming to school and seeing my friends and talking junk and chilling in the senior lounge and doing what friends do. I am planning on playing football in college. You could say the decision I made was so risky once, but I would say they turned out for the best. Even though I wonder how my life would be different if I was, say, a nickel, and where I'd be at the point in my life. But who would say what could have happened and would have happened and been like? So I thank God He put me in a place where I could grow. When I look back and think about what has God brought me through, I can only say wow and thank you, God, for letting me grow into the person I'm today. I know I'm not perfect, and I try to be as humble as I could be, because you don't get any blessing by being ugly, acting, and having big ego in this world. So I definitely have grown over these years in high school, and with the obstacles I have faced, only made me a better person and stronger person.